In this video, I wanted to give you an example of the personal endorsement script for selling your product or service. I'm here with my business partner, Jason Wells, and we're going to run through an example and also do some Q&A to give you some insight from our experience over the years in using the personal endorsement ourselves and helping our team members have success as well. Jason, before we jump into the role play, what's your take, any advice you have for people out there looking at getting their script finalized and using it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, do it. The second thing is, I think, is practicing it. I think the people that don't practice it, it becomes a script, and no one wants to do scripts. But you have to have scripts because you have to start somewhere, right? You got to know what you're going to say. Mm-hmm. But you need to practice it so it's like a natural thing. So it's been effective for me because I don't really have a script. I just have something that naturally pops out when somebody asks me what I do. And so I think practice is the big thing. And you and I can talk about more later. There's a lot of things I'm sure that in your experience they've done, because we've developed a lot of top customer enrollers in our company that are not even in our downline. A lot of them have been in our downline, but a lot of them just they've come to us from help from other teams in our own company. So practice, and there's a lot of little things that people need to do once they put their script together.
And something I'll emphasize, if you haven't gone through the communication course that Jason produced, definitely check that out for the details on connecting with people. But a common mistake I've seen people do as they go out there and start using their personal endorsement is that they try to shove it down people's throats, or they feel like they have to use it with every single person they meet or see. And yes, there is that rule of thumb where the more you use it, the better. But keep it natural and don't shove it down people's throat or sound like a broken record saying it every 2 minutes. The key with using this is once you've gotten your script, you've practiced it like Jason has emphasized, you go out there and just start making as many connections with people as possible. And sometimes you'll say your personal endorsement, sometimes you won't, sometimes you'll say your full endorsement. And the more you go out there and talk with people, it's just a giant funnel. So if you talk to 100 people, maybe 90 of those people you use your short personal endorsement with. And then maybe 50 of those people you do your full personal endorsement script with. And then maybe 30 of those people you move to the develop or introduce step. And then maybe 15 of those people actually become customers or associates of yours down the road. Now, those are some general numbers, but focus on just going out there and building those relationships and connecting with people.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I think something that will help you out is we're going to do a role play here where Jason's going to be a potential customer or just a contact that I know, and then I'm the network marketing distributor. So we're going to run through actually one of my personal endorsement scripts that I use. And like Jason said, we don't really have them, ones written in stone anymore. When we first started doing this, we wrote down some rough outlines like I had you do in the earlier videos. But once you do that, probably hundreds or thousands of times like we have now, it just becomes quote unquote natural to you, and you can easily adapt it to the situation, the person you're talking with, and noticing different things, everything from maybe a logo on their shirt about, a certain sport they play or certain organization they're with. And you'll start being able to take all this information and really sound natural. And then no matter what situation or what person you're speaking with, you'll be able to use the personal endorsement for one of your main products or another product or service that your company has. So, you ready to do some role play?
Yeah. So what do you want me to do? Because we're doing this completely, this is not planned, just to prove a point. So you want me just to
Let's just keep it simple. Why don't you start out with just ask me what I do for, what I do. And we'll
so maybe you met me I do yoga. So you decided to try yoga at a yoga studio. So you bumped into me there, and we start talking, and I say, everyone that meets people, this happens. They say, so what do you do?
I actually work with a lot of different athletes and like weekend warriors who have achy knees or stiff knees that prevent them from finishing their workouts or playing their sports or adventures on the weekend. I mean, I know you do yoga. Do you play any other sports?
Actually, yeah, I actually do yoga because I'm a volleyball player, and I work out in the gym a lot, and I really do it for volleyball. So like I do a lot of like jump training, which is like they call it plyometrics. You probably know what that is, like your box jumps and stuff. And I do that. I do a lot of like heavy explosive lifting because it's like that fast twitch. If you know what fast twitch muscle, I'm assuming you work with athletes, you know that. Like I do that. And so what I find sometimes is I get really tight. So one of the reasons I do yoga is it keeps me from like getting injured. Like a lot of the people I know I play with, like they're half my age and they're like getting injured, like their knees are going bad or there's something wrong. And so I really feel like because I like do yoga and I work out, like I think it's part of the reason why, I'm doing pretty good in that. So I'm the kind of guy that will do anything, like make sure that I keep like my body in order.
It's always easier to prevent than it is to fix, isn't it?
Hard to get. I tell my friends this all the time, but they don't listen to me. So like I try to get them to come to yoga and they're just like, it's yoga, dude. Like, why would I want to go to yoga? That's like what women do. And I'm just like, you guys just don't get it, man. You don't get it.
Let me ask you a question about volleyball because I'm from the East Coast originally, and then out here on the West Coast, it seems like everyone either plays volleyball or their sister or brother does. Is there a difference between grass volleyball and sand volleyball?
Well, that's funny. It's funny you say everyone. Seems like everyone plays because. See, my perspective is when I go to Southern California, it seems like everyone's played volleyball on some level. Like they may not be all great, but they're pretty good. Whereas up here in Northern California, like not very many people, like women, yeah, but guys don't play. As far as like grass and sand, totally different. Like I'm a grass player. A lot of my friends do both. I'm not a big fan of sand. It's kind of a different game. Like I call it a tall man's game. I'm only 6 foot, 6 foot small by volleyball standards. And when you're jumping out of sand, like you're not getting the same vertical leap. So when you're tall and long, you don't have to jump as high, obviously.
You can reach your net easier.
Yeah, you don't have to work as hard. Whereas grass, it's all about, like, if you can jump, you can make up that difference with the tall guys. And since I can jump, playing grass is definitely my thing. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage in sand because I can't jump as high. So it's more work.
Now, you said you started doing yoga to actually help you with your volleyball game, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this because I'm like, obviously I'm new here, as they maybe point out at the
I noticed in class you kind of I've been there, man. Don't worry about it.
But let me ask you this because one of the reasons I'm kind of looking at yoga the same way as something to kind of rehab and keep things going well, because I used to do a lot of running before I've injured myself. Have you ever done like the foam rolling, like on your legs, your quadriceps with those white or black foam rollers?
Yeah, I just don't really know how to do it. Like people tell me I should do it. I don't really know what I'm doing. So like I see people doing it. I just don't know if they're doing it right. No one's ever showed me how to do it. And I can see why people do it. It looks like it's almost like massage in a way. And I know when I've gotten like monthly massages, like I know the fascia and stuff, like I know that makes a difference in keeping you from being tight. No one's just ever shown me how to do foam rolling, so, like I said, do you know what that's like? Do you do that or do you know?
That's one of the things I swear by.
Oh, really?
It's that and, taking some good quality like glucosamine stuff for my joints. But the foam rolling, I got into it because one of the massage therapists I used to see back east all the time, amazing hands, but between how expensive it is to see massage therapist and the frequency of it, he got me into foam rolling, and he taught me a few moves. But he said if you do even like 5 minutes a night, just even 3 or 4 days a week, he said it makes a huge difference in that maintenance and preventing things. And so I injured got really tight knees a long time ago, and I would do anything to get it better. So I started doing it, noticed some results, and now I know every time if I slack off for a few weeks in doing that, I pay for it in the gym, or I wake up the next morning, like an 80-year-old man getting out of bed, it seems like. So yeah, absolutely. Like, what gym do you work out at?
I go to 24 Hour Fitness.
That big one downtown?
Yeah.
Well, I go there too, and there's in that upstairs part, there's a corner there where they got some of the foam
where
rollers.
the pads are, like over in the far corner, like it's kind of dark over there in front of that cardio equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So if you go there, and grab the foam roller there and try it, but you can also give them for like $30 at one of the sports authorities or online somewhere, and it's really easy to use. Actually, give me your number. I'll text you.
Okay.
I've got some information I can send you, and plus we're at the gym at the same time. It's one of those things where it's not, once you know how to do it, it's not hard to do. There's only like 2 different main ways of doing it. One is the actual rolling on the spots, and the other, they call it trigger point, where if you actually get like a really tight spot on one area, you actually kind of just relax on there and sit on there for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you would be amazed. It's one of the most uncomfortable things in the world, but it works.
Uncomfortable? You mean it hurts?
Well, some people had good massage.
Yeah, it's
you kind of get that.
Yeah, it's like
it hurts,
it's a good hurt.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you my information. Anything I can learn to, like, if it keeps me young and keeps me from being injured, at my age, like I'm gonna be 40 this year, like I mean, knock on wood, but I don't have any injuries. I'm like in great condition. I think it's because I always am seeking, this kind of stuff. So, hey, anything that will help me like stay loose and avoid injury, I'm all about it.
Great. Well, I'll tell you what, what's your number here?
My number is 555-555-1212.
Cool. Well, I'll text you just my name and number, and there's actually a few really good YouTube videos I'll send your way too that talk about how to use foam rolling. There's lots of free information, but I'll show you a few that I learned from.
Oh, cool. So, are you gonna keep doing yoga or what? How was that? Was it hard?
Well, I bought the 30-day pass, so I'm gonna do it for 30 days, and kind of see it. But this is my second time. I like it. It's different, and it's helping with flexibility.
Well, I would say stick with it. I've been doing it a year, and it's more than a workout. I'll just leave it at that. You'll figure out what I mean as you do it. So,
what are the best classes to come? Does it really matter? Is there like advanced, beginner, intermediate?
Well, there's at this studio is like level 1 and then all levels, and all levels. I mean, it's just the only difference between like level 1 and all levels is that all levels is more like the flows are you hold for not as long in a pose. Okay. You tend to move more, and there's more. It can be a little more advanced in the footwork and moving from one pose to another. But it's not like, who cares? Like if you miss it, you can just realign yourself and catch up with the rest of the class. It's not like the end of the world. So
as long as I don't mind embarrassing myself.
If you're one of those, I feel like if you're one of those people that doesn't care like what he looks like and whatever, like just you can do any class here. Like as far as, I could tell you my favorite teachers, but like I hate doing that because, that's a matter of opinion. Everyone has what they like. So, I just keep going. I try to do it at least. If you're serious about working out, it seems like you are. I try to go to yoga like 4 times a week. That'd be my advice.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like the foam roller thing. Like, I want to learn on that. I'm going to tell you from my perspective, like yoga's helped me a lot.
Well, good. Well, we can share ideas then.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I'll probably see you around.
Yeah, I'll see you around. Class. Maybe even at the gym.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool.
So that was just obviously an example of what we did, and that was.
But he didn't tell me about your product. Like, what was he thinking? Was that a failure, Chris? You didn't talk about your product.
Absolutely not.
You mentioned something. You mentioned glucosamine, which is our joint care.
Yeah.
But you didn't like.
I mentioned it. Would I love to talk about it? Of course I would, but it didn't flow in the conversation. Just the way we got talking, it was kind of all about yoga and foam rolling. And at least for my listen, I felt like if I was going to talk more than just mention the glucosamine supplement, it was just like shoving the information down the throat. Probably would have felt a little awkward.
Well, and the thing is, I think what you did is something you and I do is you mentioned what we sell with something else that you really believe in. So like you and I really believe in our product. And I'm sure there's people out there watching this video, they have their product or service and they feel the same way. But for you and I, our product is part of an overall regimen that we use, whether it be eating a certain way, lifting at the gym. For me, I mean, that really would be me if you talk to me if I wasn't a part of our company. I go to yoga 4 to 5 times a week. These are things that I do. And I am all about like volleyball and being at the most elite level. That's what everything I do is like to be not injured, to be at my most elite level. So he's speaking my language. The thing is when you show me foam rolling, you're giving me value. You're building a relationship with me.
Yep.
And you're also developing me in a sense of, oh, I've got something else that can help you with, being an elite athlete. There'll be a time when it'll be appropriate when you'll bring up the product.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, that's really how this goes most of the time. And sometimes you go right into it.
Yeah. And the thing is, if someone says, oh, I've got my knees are killing me right now, I probably would have gone straight into the product then, because that can, provide some immediate help there. But just the way the conversation flowed, it was like that. And hey, I got his cell phone number. We're going to the same yoga studio. We go to the same gym. It's not like I'm never going to see him again. So I factored that in and said, you know what? I'll see him. And, I'm interested in yoga. He's interested in foam rolling. Let's just start there, build a relationship, and start building that bridge, as Jason says. Well,
and then the other thing is like, if you're in a situation where you won't see him again, maybe you could be a little more aggressive. You have to kind of use your gut in the situation. And, you could have even, one of the things we do is sometimes we provide, like nutrition information on certain things. You could have just said, actually, I've got some nutrition information for athletes and how to stay. What did I say? I said like staying, not being injured, being elite. Mm-hmm. Like I've got information on that. Would you like to check that out? It's actually what I do. That would have been perfectly fine. I know would have been receptive to that. But the way you did it in that scenario and the way that conversation could have gone 10 different ways, yep. You just rolled with it and you didn't force the issue. And I think that's something that people make a mistake with.
So here's what I want you to focus on. Now, in one of the previous videos, I talked about setting your action plan and some weekly or daily goals for connecting with people and essentially using your personal endorsement, because that is an advertisement in itself. So the more that people hear it or the more that people see it, the better. Generally, the more people see an advertisement, the more results you'll get. So imagine if I had, let's say 10 to 15 conversations like that a week. If I just forced myself to go out there, talk with new people, or I got to yoga class a few minutes before or stayed a few minutes after and just said hi to, either person next to me, I'd have probably easily 10 conversations like that a week.
Easily.
And if I do that, some will go straight into my actual joint product right away. Others will be more like that. Others will just be a friendly face in there. But if you do 10 of those a week, let's say even, after a month, that's probably about 40 new connections. We'll do the math. I'm building a great pipeline and putting a lot of people into the marketing sales funnel.
And why we have so many people in our company that done our style of doing things and end up being the top customers in the company. And this is a fact. Like we have like in our company, I'm sure most people's companies have this, but we actually have our purely customers. Like these are people that have no idea that this is a network marketing business. And we have an award for people that are the top 25 customer enrollers. And we've had numerous people in and out of our downline on a yearly basis in that group.
Yeah. And
sometimes multiple.
And that our company is not, there's 100,000 plus
distributors around more than that. I can't remember. Well, and we're a $500 million company. So it's not like it's a small, there's a lot of distributors and 25 people. Yeah. So this stuff works. So, yeah. And just be aware that that's really how these conversations go. And so if you do it, I mean, Chris did an awesome job of just rolling with the punches and not like trying to force something. And he's right. If you have, say, 40 of these conversations a month, you're going to get customers. And it's that simple. And in our team, we always teach people to get 20 pure customers. And then just imagine if your whole organization is doing the same thing and they're getting customers. We're just talking about customers. We're not talking about recruiting business builders here. Like, so if your company pays really well in customers and you do this kind of stuff and your team is doing this kind of stuff, that's how you can make a solid residual income, and why you and I have done really well is we teach this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And you can see, Jason and I have been close to a decade each doing network marketing with our company, and we still use this personal endorsement script to get customers and to sell product on, I'd probably say, a weekly basis, if not more often. And you know what? We're not too good for it. We haven't gotten too big for it. We stick with it because it works. And as always, since we're leaders and we want to help our team develop, we always lead by example. So we're out there using this exact same personal endorsement I went over with you in the previous videos. We're out there using it on a regular basis ourselves, teaching it to our team. And then it's hard to imagine, but if you just learn this and use it, it'll snowball into huge things down the road to help your business and help you build a very big business, but also a very solid business. We're not into building glass houses or where everyone's taking the product to make money. It's all about people taking the products because they actually feel a difference. It helps them with their health goals, and they understand why it's important and what makes our product different from the other products out there in the marketplace. Right.
And if there's a lot of great companies out there that have good products and services. And if you're fortunate enough to be in something like that, or you got a good product service and you're paid very well for purely customers, this method right here, this personal endorsement on customers is. This is so valuable. You just can't even imagine how much you're going to get out of this if you really apply this and teach it to your team.
I've got nothing else on my I want to go over popping in my mind. You got anything else?
No, I'm good. I think we've covered everything.
Great. Well, we'll wrap up this video and rewatch this video if you need to get some more ideas. Listen to the word track, but just focus on making those connections, using your personal endorsement, the short personal endorsement, because that is the advertisement every time you say, and focus on connecting with people and starting to build those bridges.